Audie Murphy Monument. Pay our respects to all veterans.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm here with Arnie this morning, and she's getting ready to hike 8 miles over Brush Mountain, going up 1,500 and down 1,500. Should be a heck of a day.
Sounds like fun. Everybody get out and hike. Have a blessed day. All right, well, it's chilly this morning, but I am definitely starting off a little chilly. But it's a good thing because I'm going to be going uphill pretty soon, and we had a great time at the home place last night. Ended up just the whole crowd from Four Pines was there. So it was a huge crowd, about 15 hikers there, through hikers. So needless to say, it was fun for us. And here's our little stream that's pretty cool looking. Appalachian Trail, Audie Murphy Monument. So 1,500 up, across the ridge, and 1,500 down. Doesn't that sound like fun? It sounds like it's going to help me to strengthen my muscles more. I am starting out obviously a little tired, and my upper body is probably more sore than my lower body today from pulling up on the rocks. So I needed something to work my upper body more. So no complaints here, just continuing on this trek to have a stronger body. And being able to hang out with them last night did help me, I gotta say. It just, you need the socialization from time to time. I like hiking alone, but I don't necessarily need it every night. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. And G really enjoyed it, and the food was fabulous as always. And I really recommend you don't miss it when you come through here Thursday night through Sunday. And we did not have to wait. We got there at 6. We waited 5 minutes, if that. So if you can make it on a Thursday, it's definitely better than Saturday and Sunday. Friday is not as bad as Saturday and Sunday either, the owner said. So there it is. Let's move on down the trail. Well, Guthooks calls that place where we were staying at Virginia 620 Lee Hollow. And just for the record, Virginia is flat right here. Like literally flat. People used to say Virginia's flat. You get in it, you just run through it. And in the last few years, YouTubers have been making a little noise about that. No, it's not flat. It doesn't have these super high elevations that you had in North Carolina and Tennessee and Georgia, or necessarily the longer climbs. But you do have climbs that are tough, and we are about to encounter one. They are steep, 1,500 feet on this one, and the rocks are worse here than those 3 states. So there are things here that make Virginia tough, in addition to the fact that now that the green's coming in, those of you who coming up behind end up in what you like to call the green tunnel, which means you're dealing with those issues with only having views where there are open views and not able to see through the trees like we've been able to see through them up until this point. And so, those things make Virginia a little bit tough. And I still say divide Virginia into 3 states in your mind. The Southern Highlands, the Central, where you're going to have a lot of rocks, and then Shenandoah and whatever else is up there in the north. That's my advice. Virginia 1, Virginia 2, and Virginia 3. And we are about to cross a creek, a big creek. Looks more like a river to me. Good camping here. Getting ready to enter Brush Mountain Wilderness. Brush Mountain East Wilderness. As we head off through the flat part of Virginia. So I was asking them last night in the van, your least favorite rocks, and it was real interesting because each one had a different opinion of what their own personal least favorite was. The older folks were kind of with me. Joker called them potato rocks, those smaller rocks that are totally covering the trail and are loose. And then it was the rock fields that Leapfrog mentioned, where you just got to go through you know, big rock field with a lot of them are pointy. And I can't remember what play-by-play said, but you know, he's 14, so none of it's as hard for him. It's probably all just fun for the most part. I may have talked about this yesterday afternoon, but so the climb up and over where Dragon's Tooth is. Well, last year we did it, and I did northbound from the south to the north. So this year I decided I'd do it southbound, and both ways were hard. Going up yesterday and climbing up those rocks was, if you want to work out for your upper body, then do it southbound. And legs also. I mean, just climbing up, you know, big steps on those rock walls and rocks. And I showed you some of them, but I didn't show you all of them. And then after that, headed on the so-called downhill. It kept going back up, and it was really rocky. And that happened for a long time, and it was about the final mile to mile and a half that was just real nice, easy downhill trail kind of like what we're on right now. So going uphill, you start with that slow uphill, but you know, all those quote uphills I had up there for me also had downhills. So for the people going northbound, they were up and down and up and down and over rocks, continuing up until they finally get to Dragon's Tooth. So it's tough either way. And Sleeves called it a pretty long climb. Just seemed like they were climbing forever. But anyway, so either way is tough. Take your pick. Because Four Pines, if you stay there, they will shuttle you to the trail ahead of your choice. All right, let's go do another stream. A lot of water crossings this morning. Thank goodness for bridges. So we got about 2.8 miles, I think it is, or 2.5, going up about 1,500 feet from 1,560 something to 3,094. Nice campsite over there right by that little bitty stream. So onward and upward. We have hit pretty much a ridge, the climbing ridge. We're going 1.4 miles, about 1,000 feet. Well, check it out, folks. We just ran into Postcard. She and I shared a motel in Franklin, and that was a lot of fun. So I haven't seen her since then, but so she's done 360 miles more than me and caught me again, just like all these other folks. So it was great to see her. So you have a great hike.
You too.
All right, and she's going to finish in 360 more miles. She will have finished her through hike. So congratulations
Yay.
on that.
Thank you.
All right, there goes Postcard. Moving on down the road. That was so good to see her again. We had a great talk that night, had a lot of fun, and talking. It was just great. All right, I've come up 2.1 miles and about 700 feet, and now I've got 1 mile and 700 feet, so it's going to be much steeper for this next mile. So, continuing on up the hill. So it's pretty steep up now, but at least it's a track that's good, as Kiwi would call it. A gift. Normal up with a gift of track. A walk in the woods trail. Oh, we're at about 691 on mileage. 2,900 and something on elevation, and going up to about 3,015. We are presently going east-northeast for about 2.5 miles. I will be up on this ridge in just a second where the park bench is. Take a break a second, and then for about 2.3 to 2.4 miles, we'll be on the ridge, past Audie Murphy. I got Mountain Laurel here. And you see the buds wanting to open. All right, up on a ridge, we're headed that way. But before we do, let's take off our pack a moment. Thank you for the break. Well, I'm definitely not breaking any speed records today of mine, but it was a fairly steep up, and my body was pretty beat up after yesterday. Consider this hike from, 621 to 620 Trout Creek a gift before, maybe call it the calm before the storm. This 8 miles, I don't know, I still got 4 to go, so we'll see. It is a steep up, and you climb for a while. But anyway, the climb up and the ridge so far, no rocks. I don't remember any rocks, other than a few little ones in the trail to help with erosions. This is a pleasure. So once you get to 620 and cross that little road and start up towards Dragon's Tooth, that's the storm. So y'all know how I get in a better mood when I'm going downhill. Because the legs start saying, well, this isn't so bad. I can hike. Helps the mind, put the mind at ease a little bit, so yeah. And I remember when we did this last year, these rocks were sticking up a lot further. This was not as pleasant then as it is now. So these rocks have all, over the past year, just kind of been sunk down in, pushed down in. And this is a pretty pleasant walk. And in addition to the B Western movies that Audie Murphy made that are out there somewhere, I don't know, maybe some of them are on YouTube. There's a commentary on YouTube about him and his life. It's really very interesting, and you might enjoy, if you like history and you really respect the fact that he was the most decorated war hero from, World War II, and won I think it was pretty much every medal there is to win, including the Medal of Honor. I guess one's not a good word for it, but was given for his service, and how many lives he saved because of his capacity and his ability to fire a weapon with precision. And then he died young in this plane crash, way too young. I think he was close to 40. I don't know if he was a little under or a little over. Left a family behind. It really is something that, in a sense, he's representative of all veterans and all those people who have served, men and women, who we appreciate so very much, who have helped keep this country great. Take time to pay your respects, and don't just think about him, but think about all the vets you know, especially those out there that need help. Maybe there's a way you can help them. All right, Audie Murphy Monument up here to the left, 8 feet straight ahead. So we'll be back there in a few minutes after we go up here and check this out. Pay our respects to all veterans, living and those that have passed. Say a prayer for those that you know, of blessing and of healing, and thank them for their service. Alright, so we are back on the AT, on a wide ledge, and soon to be headed down, I believe. Just an FYI, I don't feel comfortable having G stay alone at night at this particular time, and there's just a few things going on that I'm not so concerned that I feel like we need to head home and get into a doctor, but just I don't like him being alone overnight in the van. So, but again, the number one goal for me, hike 2,190 miles, and that's hard enough to see it as a major challenge to be able to keep going for the number of months that I have to keep going in order to make that happen. So thank you all that are staying and hanging in there with me. Thank you for your encouragement. Again, it all means so much. In the comments, and those of you that have been there, especially, even those of you that are coming in late, whatever. This is a true endurance thing that I'm on now, to keep hiking when the hiking itself is so hard. So the endurance test continues, and I love hiking, though. There's no doubt about that. And it wouldn't be very many days if I was off trail at home or whatever that I'd be saying, wow, I want to go hiking again. So there's no lack in my love of what I'm doing here. That has not changed. So try and keep it as upbeat as possible, because not so much for you as for me when I watch this later. I don't want to listen to myself being all mopey gropey. These are my memories, and I want my memories to be true, and I want to remember when it was hard and when I was having a tough day or whatever. But I also like to remember the cheerfulness and hopefully have things that'll make me laugh. Remembering yesterday will always make me smile. Run into all those folks. Thinking back on Parisburg will definitely make me smile. And then, of course, lickety split, I'll always smile. Thinking of her and just, videoing her, doing videos from the neck down. It was fun. It was funny to us. It was funny to me. It'll always be funny. And, of course, Soaring Eagle will always bring a smile. Sorry that he was injured and unable to continue, because he was such a steady person. It was a lot of fun, and fun for G too. He really enjoyed him. But those will always bring me happy memories. Grumpy, in spite of the fact that we never got to hike together. Just the time with him and Gucci Girl. That'll always bring smiles. Don and Nancy, goodness, how kind they were to us, and just him hiking with me for those 3 hiking days in the very beginning, and her meals. Those will always bring smiles. Perfect Storm. I always laugh when I think of Perfect Storm. We have very different lifestyles and thoughts on things, but we are dear friends. Anyway, and of course G, just the gift of him doing this for me, even though he's not hiking. What a gift. So it almost sounds like I'm giving my goodbye speech, but I'm not. I was just thinking about, these videos and making me smile years from now. That's all. And some of the things that'll make me smile. And there's a lot of other people that I met on the way, and including Postcard that I just saw again today, and all the other people that we've met on the trail. I mean, it's just people. Everybody will tell you it's people that make the Appalachian Trail so great. It's the Appalachian Trail community. And of course Steve, our buddy, who's spent lots and lots of time with G, and he did spend an evening visiting with me. And in fact, I had to run him out so I could go to bed. Finally at Lickskillet Hostel, and Mongo at Lickskillet. Just a great guy, and enjoying seeing his progress on his hostel and how well he's doing. I'm not going anywhere. I was just thinking back about some of the things that have been so much fun. Beverly, the shuttle driver in Franklin, what a blessing she was. Took me to get ice cream, 20 miles, just because she wanted me to try this homemade ice cream. What a treat she was. I'll probably think of other people when I stop this video, and this isn't an end of story, thank you, and whatever. And so many of you online that comment on every single video. Oh my gosh. I watched people's videos last year. I put on the playlist and, would watch every single video, and I never commented because I just didn't realize how much it meant. But I do now. Those comments mean so very much. Just the encouragement and everything.